טוב ומנעים, שברכים גם יחד. הנה מה 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 טוב ומנעים, שברכים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hine ma tov, how good it is for us to gather together in community. These words from our opening song setting the tone for our evening tonight. We're so delighted to be together for this first Shabbat of 2018, and we're very thankful that so many of you braved the storm and the very, very cold air to be here tonight. This week we'll read from our Torah portion Shemot, the first part, the first 5 chapters of the book of Exodus. There we see a transition in power in Egypt. A new Pharaoh rises who doesn't know of Joseph. We'll watch on as baby Moses is floated down the Nile, and then as Moses grows up and becomes the new leader of the Israelites in Egypt. It's a packed portion, and we see a lot of life happen very quickly. It strikes me that at this season, as we welcome the new secular year, many of us may feel that time has passed very quickly. Though the days may have felt very long, it feels like we just welcomed 2017. We blinked, and a whole year has passed. Tonight is a special Shabbat for a few reasons. First, we are honored to welcome Rabbi Bonnie Steinberg, who will share words of Torah with us later in our service. Second, we are delighted to welcome this year's Project Understanding group to our chapel this evening. Project Understanding is an annual trip to Israel for Catholic and Jewish students, and we welcome this year's participants, their families, and their program coordinators, Rachel Barnahama, Lauren Chisner, Brother Kenneth Hoagland, and our own past president and Project Understanding founder, Roger Tillis. You can learn more about Project Understanding in your Shabbat bulletin. But this Shabbat is also special because it's an opportunity for all of us to gather in sacred community, to luxuriate in Shabbat Menucha, the rest we're commanded to enjoy on Shabbat, and for a moment to slow down our lives that are happening very quickly. It's my honor to invite up our bat mitzvah, Dana Kagan, her parents Olga and Andrew, and her brother David to light our Shabbat candles this evening. The blessings can be found on page 2 of our prayer books. Our books, Mishkan Tefillah, they open Hebrew style from right to left. So if you're unfamiliar with our prayer books, just follow along with us. We're going to be announcing pages as we go. If we didn't announce a page, we're probably just on the next page. So we'll start, let's all practice by opening to page 2. Okay, so first you light, you pick up this silver thing. Very good.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
We'll continue with Kabbalat Shabbat as we welcome the energy of Shabbat on page 12 of our prayer books with Lechu Neranana.
Lechu neranana, yai lai 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 lai, l'Adonai, yai lai 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 lai, Nariya, yai lai 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 lai, l'tzor yisheinu. Let us sing out to God, the maker of all, sure and strong. Let all of creation from mountain to sea hear our song. Lechu neranena, yai lai 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 lai, l'Adonai, yai lai 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 lai, Nariya, yai lai 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 lai, l'tzor yisheinu, yai lai 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 lai, for all of the wonder in all of God's light we rejoice. So let us listen with all of our hearts to hear God's voice. Lechu neranena, yai lai 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 lai, l'Adonai, yai lai 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 lai, Nariya, yai lai 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 lai, l'tzor yisheinu, yai lai 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 lai.
We'll continue on the facing page, page 13, an excerpt from Psalm 96, the bottom paragraph in the Hebrew. If you're looking at the English on page 14, the indented paragraph. Yismechu hashamayim.
Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, umelo. 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 Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz.
These first two words words, Yismechu Hashamayim, mean let the heavens rejoice, or let the skies rejoice. And I'm standing here kind of giggling to myself, thinking about how maybe snow is kind of like the heavens confetti. And so really tonight, the heavens are really rejoicing. We have evidence all over the place of all of the rejoicing that's been going on. We'll turn to page 17, the last paragraph of the Hebrew again, Romemu, from Psalm 99.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtahavu Lahar Kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtahavu Lahar Kodsho. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtahavu Lahar Kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtahavu Lahar Kodsho. Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtahavu Lahar Kodsho.
This first section of our prayer service, Kabbalat Shabbat, is all about welcoming Shabbat into our midst. And we turn now to pages 20 and 21 for the singing of Lachadodi, where we welcome the symbol of Shabbat, the Shabbat bride, into our midst. And together this evening, we'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
Lecha dodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad Hishmianu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. Verse 5 התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי, אורי שיר דברי. כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה Shabbat nekabelha. Verse 9, we greet the Shabbat. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha ufzohola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
We arrive now at one of my very favorite parts of our service. First, we'll wish a Shabbat Shalom to anyone watching us via live stream. Hopefully you're staying warm wherever you are. And now we will wish each other a Shabbat Shalom. So I invite you to maybe even stand up from where you are. Find someone you've never met before. Shake a hand, give a hug, wish someone a Shabbat Shalom. Ask them how their week was. Shabbat Shalom, Sean.
You should say that.
Having greeted each other, we turn to page 24 in our prayer books where we'll greet the Shabbat angels, singing Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem LeShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Malach Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni LeShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Malach Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem LeShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, V'melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Turn together to the bottom of page 27.
Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even at unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without the presence.
At the top of page 29.
There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all words, filling the universe with song. Let us bless.
O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness. and reveal the glory and joy of your presence.
On the facing page, page 28, we rise for the Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Le'olam Va'ed. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la.
We pray together in the English on page 30. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
El Chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hamahari v'ravid.
Page 32.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael amcha hafta. Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated as we continue on page 36, chanting texts from the books of Deuteronomy and Numbers.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשיטתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו
עשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אמת.
At the top of page 39.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Michamocha, our song of redemption, is on page 40.
Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, mika kamocha, nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef ele, nora tehilot, osef ele. Join with us. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi amocha, nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef ele, nora tehilot, osef ele. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai
On page 43 at the top of the page, we offer these words, our prayer for peace and a life well lived.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu leShalom. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu.
At the top of page 44, we'll sing together Vishamru, the text from the book of Exodus. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat as a sign of the covenant for all time.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
Before we begin our Amidah, our central set of prayers, I offer this intention on page 47. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. We'll begin our Amidah together on page 46. Please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Page 48.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu ve'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה.
Page 50.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
Page 52.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים וקדושים בכל יום יהללו חסלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש, האל הקדוש.
We continue privately with our prayers through page 62 of the prayer book. You may remain standing or be seated according to your custom.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Join us on page 61 as we offer an extra prayer for peace.
Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtues in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Amen. We come to the part of the service where we think of those in need of healing. If you are thinking of someone tonight in need of healing, whether it's physical or spiritual, we invite you to say the names out loud as we walk up and down the aisles. Our prayer for healing is found on page 253 in the middle of the page. Please join us. Page 253.
Mi sheberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
tonight. Our words of Torah come from Rabbi Bonnie Steinberg, just so that you know who she is. Rabbi Steinberg was born and raised in Boston, really in Belmont, Massachusetts. She graduated from Brandeis in 1974 as a Jewish studies major, and then went to Hebrew Union College in Jerusalem and New York City, and was ordained in 1979. Since then, she has quite an impressive CV. She's worked as Hillel director at Hofstra, served as rabbi of Temple Isaiah here in Great Neck for many years, was associate rabbi at Temple Beth-El of Huntington, and worked as director of religious life at Jewish Home Life Care in the Bronx. She is a board-certified chaplain, and in 2016 completed a master's degree in bioethics through Yeshiva University. No small feat for someone working full-time. Rabbi Steinberg is married to psychologist Daniel Gensler. They grew up in the same town outside of Boston and have two sons, Joshua and Micah, who grew up here in the Great Neck schools. Rabbi Steinberg, we're delighted to welcome you to our Bima this evening.
So first of all, thank you for the joy that you bring, and thank you to the pianist. Thank you so much for such excellent music. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm so pleased to be here tonight to add to the team of support for Rabbi Molbaum and Cantor Lappin while the Rabbis Feldman are away in Israel on such a well-deserved sabbatical. And I want to also welcome Project Understanding. Your collaboration and your togetherness is so important, and I'm going to talk a little bit actually about collaboration, you'll see, as I weave that into the themes of the Torah portion. And to our Bat Mitzvah student, what luck you have to begin a brand new book of the Bible. If I were to choose one, I don't know if I could choose one, but Exodus really is one of the richest and also richest in social justice mandates for us. Everyone studies the Bible with their own unique approach and their own unique perspective. And it's really important for us to understand that. And it's my approach that I'm going to share with you tonight. It's kind of obvious as you listen to me that you'll hear a liberal Jew, a Reform Jew, and a feminist approach. And so I look at the Torah portion to review some of the central stories, as Rabbi Molbaum already introduced us in the beginning, to see how do they teach us or speak to us of our modern concerns and our modern experiences. Is this too loud? Okay. So from my contemporary perspective, Exodus, as I've kind of said, is critical to the social justice message that is so important to Reform Judaism. And the goal of the Exodus story is to create a society that works together to create laws and statutes and a legal system that benefit the majority of people, not just the minority, not just the elite. There were many ancient legal systems and many ancient and contemporary societies that use their laws to benefit the most advantaged, the smartest, the best educated. Sometimes the men were on top of the hierarchy or still are. And our Torah portion and our book of Exodus and the Torah tries to inch us toward a society that gets away from that elitism. In the Ten Commandments, which we also quote in the blessing over the wine, the Kiddush, there's the important value that everyone gets to rest on Shabbat, not just the wise, not just the rich, not just the males, not just the members of the Jewish community, even the resident aliens, even people that have come into our community and that live in our midst. Today, there are many references in our society to the importance of the rule of law. And you'll hear people say the rule of law is very important, the rule of law is very important, but we learn from Exodus and we learn from our contemporary experience that it's critical to ask who's in charge of making up those laws. And are the laws in the best interests of the majority of people. In the Jewish nightmare experience, our example of laws that turned bad was, of course, Nazi Germany and Europe under the Nazis. They changed the laws. They had the rule of law, but they changed them. So we need to watch for that. The next question, sometimes people ask, is it really true that there was an exodus? Is it really true that 600,000, and in those days they would have counted the men, and so if you add the women and the children and the animals, it was a lot of people. Did they really organize one day and go against slavery and trek out of Egypt to found that new society? I think that the question of whether or not it's true, literal, we don't have a video of it, is an intriguing question, but it was probably not central to the Jewish imagination because the values that are represented by that trek became so central to our imagination that it's true enough for me. It was probably a long, chaotic process with many less people than the 600,000 plus. And I've also asked myself, because I'm not a person who does that well with change sometimes, would I have had the courage to go? And sometimes I answer, no, I would have not had the courage to go. And sometimes I answer, yes, maybe I would have taken my courage in my hand and gone. But we probably lost a lot of people, left them in Egypt. And so it was probably critical that that band that went forward became the story of our people. And the story and the trek is so central to Jewish life and culture that, as I said, it doesn't matter if it's literally true or real. The values that shape us have been such a great gift, not only to us, but I believe to the world. It was, as one of our Project Understanding students quoted, it was, I don't know if you know, you were quoting Professor Michael Walzer from Princeton, who wrote a very powerful book called Exodus and Revolution. And in that book, he wrote about the impact and the importance of the Exodus and the Exodus story on so many Western liberation movements. And with Martin Luther King Day coming up in a couple of weeks, it's very worthwhile for us to note that Dr. King used the Exodus, as he used so much of Bible, to inspire and even sometimes to justify the struggle for civil rights, even though, in my opinion, it didn't need that kind of justification. For people who wanted biblical proof, there it was, the Exodus story. And Michael Walzer, as I said, ends his book with the image that we all have to hold hands to trek and work toward that justice. The book of Exodus, as you can gather from what I've been saying, is inherently political. And many religious leaders today, since the election last year, are asking whether it's appropriate to use the pulpit, a 501c3, a charitable organization, to talk about politics. And also, we ask that question, whether it's appropriate, because we recognize that everyone who comes into our place of worship, everyone that wants to be part of our special communities and our spiritual communities, should feel welcome and comfortable, even if we have differing political stands. So some religious leaders have said, no, we should not talk about politics openly from the pulpit, but some have said yes. So as Senator Schumer says, we're going to uphold our basic values, and I'm going to let the Bible be the source and be the narrative for my politics. And here's another link between the Bible, today's Torah portion, and today's administration in Washington. And Rabbi Mulbaum talked about the end of Joseph's time in Egypt. Genesis ends with Joseph saving Egypt during a famine, and with Joseph reconciling with his family, being generous to his family. If ever anyone had the, excuse to be negative or mean or turn away from his family, it was Joseph. Even though they sold him into slavery, he decided, we are getting together again. I will be generous to them. I will be kind to them. I will reconcile with them. And Joseph was brought up in Pharaoh's house by Pharaoh's daughters. But Exodus opens with a king who does not know Joseph, who doesn't care about what Joseph did. And so this king, this Pharaoh, decides to oppress the ancient Israelite people. And it's a good thing that I'm the guest rabbi tonight, because if I've offended anybody by my sort of lefty politics, I'm again using the Bible to describe our current administration. This current administration seems disinterested and belittling of what the Obama administrations tried to do. They also seem completely disrespectful of the mainstream news media. And we need to remember not only the First Amendment, but we need to remember that the news and the media are the first witness and the first describers of history. And that's where we get our information. So we need to have tremendous respect for them. And I'm sorry that our administration is leading us in their direction. The other thing that our story talks about so powerfully is women's leadership and women's voices during difficult times. So Pharaoh, threatened by our people in their midst, Pharaoh says to the midwives, "Let the baby boys of the Hebrew women die at birth." And that's the result of a leadership without any compassion and based on impulse and whim and selfish values. But the midwives, Shiphrah and Puah, resisted. They stood up to the king of Egypt and, in a case of probably good lying, said, "The Hebrew women give birth before we can even get there." Dare I say that sometimes we have wonderful examples of women leading. And last January, after the inauguration, we had the Million Women March, a modern-day moment stemming straight from the legacy of Shiphrah and Puah. The Me Too also follows from that legacy, the voices of marginalized women finding their strength, our strength. And Pharaoh's daughter saves Moses, and Moses' sister, Miriam, watches out for Moses' well-being, her little brother, and Moses' mother gets to become the paid nanny to raise and suckle her own son. In last week's Sunday Review, Susan Faludi wrote that the patriarchy isn't going anywhere, but it is still so worthwhile for women to speak up. And as Hillary Clinton said in her concession speech last year, it's always worthwhile to do what's right. There's one more story from the Torah portion that I want to emphasize. God appears to Moses in the burning bush and calls Moses to lead the people out of slavery. But Moses says, "Who am I to do this?" Moses seems to lack the kind of self-confidence that we think leaders need to have. And I think the Bible is trying to tell us that the best leaders have self-doubt, are self-reflective, and sometimes feel awkward, and sometimes feel slow of speech. Moses says, "I'm not so good at talking." Was he a stutterer? Was he a person who needed to think a lot before advocating for liberation from slavery? The Bible, I think, is trying to tell us that real leadership includes self-awareness. Self-awareness that includes doubt, that includes knowing our personal strengths and our weaknesses and limits. seeing many sides to the complexity of people's needs and lives and the social order. And real leadership is, just like Project Understanding, a collaboration. God assigns Moses' siblings, Aaron and Miriam, to help be part of the team. Later, Moses' father-in-law said, "You need a wise leadership group to lead people. You cannot do this alone. It's too much." And last night on the NewsHour, one of my favorite shows, there was a beautiful piece on doctors from Cornell, high-functioning heads of their departments. Someone's hearing from a pop-up orchestra, an orchestra that was put together by musicians that probably didn't even know each other, some of them, about collaboration and communication in order to work together to really benefit the goals and the health care in that case. The doctors admitted that sometimes they found it annoying to have to add that group component to their demanding tasks and skills. It was as if the surgeons were saying, just let me go into the operating room and do what I do best. I don't have time for this group communication. They were learning teamwork from the musicians. In our society, which values competition and individual self-reliance, we need to balance that with collaboration. It does take a village. I think that I should end with the image of the burning bush. God calls from the vision of a bush that burns, but is not burnt up. Whether it's literally true or not, we need to imagine that inspiring moment for Moses, that moment when his mission transforms itself so that he could move forward and take constructive action. So those are some of the weavings that I bring from the Torah portion to shed light, values, and to give us some guidance for some of our modern concerns and some of our modern issues that we need to address. So just once again, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much for sharing the pulpit. And back to the joy of Shabbat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi Steinberg. Thank you. We'll continue on page 282 of our prayer books with Aleinu. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Page 287.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We come now to the point in our service where we remember our loved ones who are no longer with us. And while it is not the custom of our synagogue to read the names of those killed in every tragic accident, the devastating plane crash in Costa Rica last week did impact members of our own congregational families. Though they are not yet laid to rest, tonight we remember Bruce Steinberg, Irene Steinberg, Matthew, William, and Zachary Steinberg, Dr. Mitchell Weiss, Dr. Leslie Weiss, Hannah Weiss, Ari Weiss, Amanda Geisler, Emma Ramos, and Juan Manuel Ratena. Our congregational family is also remembering these who have died in the last 30 days. If I name someone that you're here remembering, I invite you to rise and remain standing. Jack Permit, Natalio de Leon Ramos, Martin Schwat, and Ralph Leon Shear. This evening, we also commemorate the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of the passings of Benjamin Cooper, Rose Einhorn, Seymour Feldstein, Sandor Prince, Ada Sigmund, Mort Lubert, Jack Plotsky, David Jick, and Sidney Nauer. Are there any other names anyone's remembering this evening for Mourners Kaddish? Zichronam livracha, we pray their memories always be for a blessing. If it's your custom to rise with the bereaved, I invite you to do so as we turn to page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitpomam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to the world. And together we say, amen. Please be seated. We have a few announcements this evening. Tomorrow morning, join us for Torah study at 9:15, followed by a Shabbat service where we'll celebrate with the Kagan family as Dana becomes bat mitzvah beginning at 10:30. Sunday morning, the Brotherhood Lecture Series presents a liturgical journey through Israeli pop music. Who's teaching that? I think it's us. We'll be there. Breakfast is at 9:15, and our session starts at 10 for our presentation. We've got some great adult education opportunities coming up. You can see your program for more information. One thing to definitely mark your calendars for is next Friday night, next Shabbat, we'll be celebrating our Martin Luther King Shabbat, and we'll be hearing from the Honorable Thomas P. DiNapoli, New York State Comptroller. So please join us. It's sure to be a meaningful and I think quite robust service. We'll have the Interfaith Choir. It's shaping up to be an excellent night, so please join us next Friday night, 7 p.m. Any other announcements?
Thank you to our greeter today, to Steve Coteen, and to Shai Kedmi for your piano playing. And yes, please.
Absolutely. Come on up.
Please come on.
Because then we're going to have you stay up here, so it's good that you're coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, Roger Tillis.
Hi, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is a real joy to be here with this congregation and Project Understanding, which have had such a close link to each other for 30 years now. It's hard to believe, and Steve Limmer and Shelley can tell you, because their son was on the very first Project Understanding 30 years ago, and he has become, as many of our students have become leaders in our faith and in the Catholic faith. This was an idea that came out of Temple Beth-El. Temple Beth-El has hosted virtually every year this Shabbat, and also the Interfaith Seder that our students go to. But more importantly, it's really been a collaboration of our congregation, the other congregations. Bonnie has had students come on Project Understanding as well. And it is so, it really is a joy to get the kinds of letters that we get from students from the very first trip 30 years ago. We're still in touch with those people, and many of those people are in touch with each other. It is really, truly a linking that remains for people's lives. There are several hundred students now who have gone on this, and I think in a little bit of a way, Project Understanding does help and change the world. So Thank you, Temple Beth-El, for hosting us, and thank you, Project Understanding Kids, for coming tonight, and you're going to have such a good time.
Thank you. Stay here. Before we conclude our services, though the Project Understanding group does not leave for, I think, 5 or 6 more weeks, we're going to offer a special Tefillah HaDerech, a blessing for travelers. So if you are a Project Understanding participant, I invite you to our bima, including Rachel Barnahama, Laura Chisner, and Brother Kenneth, who will also be offering some words of blessing. So please join us up on the bima. We're going to go all the way. Let's go all the way. Come on, you're going to help us hold this tone. She's got it. All right, so Rachel's got this. You guys are going to gather right here. Come gather. Come gather. Stand close together. Where the corners? Here, come stand. You're all going to stand under this giant sheet. All right, once they're assembled, I'm going to give this to you. You're going to go first. Here.
So a little blessing for our group. Lord God, who led the children of Israel dry-shod through the sea and showed the way to the 3 Magi by the guidance of a star, grant to us a happy journey and an enriching experience to better understand you, God our Creator, to better understand our faith in you, and to better understand the faith of our fellow pilgrims. God, grant us to share in your servant Abraham's total trust that you will lead us to that promised land where we will grow in our covenant with you and with each other. God, grant us an open mind and open hearts to be receptive to your Spirit. Grant us patience in our journey to Israel. Grant us enthusiasm for the knowledge and experience of sharing our faith with each other. May we share in the spirit of the psalmist who expressed great trust in the Lord as our protector and guide. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber or sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life, and the Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. We also read in the book of Numbers this blessing, which we share now with our pilgrims. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and his sons, saying, Thus you shall bless the sons of Israel. You shall say to them, The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. So they shall invoke my name on the sons of Israel, and I shall bless them. Amen.
Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotinu ve'imotinu, God of our ancestors, be with this group as they go through this journey together. Let them feel your presence in the relationships they form with this new community. Be with them on their travels, ensuring safe flights and peaceful visits. May they encounter challenge and wonder, all with an open heart. Shelter them beneath the shadow of your wings, O God, and guide them on their journeys. May they be blessed with this meaningful experience, and may it lead them to make this world an ever better place. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. Project Understanding participants, you may return to your seats. And our closing song this evening will be Tefillah HaDerech, the Traveler's Prayer, which can be found inside your bulletin.
May you be blessed as you go on your way. May you be guided in peace. May you be blessed with health and joy. May this be your blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. May you be sheltered by the wings of peace. May you be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen.
Please join us for Kiddush and Motzi downstairs at our own egg. We wish all of you a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.